Aries, Aries Rising, and Aries Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting October 24th, 2016. Sorry about the delay, guys, on these videos this week. It's been kind of hectic with weather in my area. Also, if you guys did want to get a session with me, a lot of folks have been asking in the comments, how do I get a reading? You always got to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, because I work on an appointment system. So you schedule your own appointment during checkout, or you can order a downloadable video file, which you can actually keep on your laptop or your computer. So, what is going on this week with your astrology? Well, this week we've got on Tuesday, we've got this Venus square Neptune going on between your 9th house, Sagittarius, and your 12th house, Pisces. And these are areas that talk about your education. They also talk about your spiritual practice, your spiritual life, as well as creativity and any kind of artistic talents that you might have there, but also your stimulation from your nearest and dearest, you know, your idols, your inspiration. And what can happen with this square is that there may be a point where there's a bit of a clash with a personality that you actually recognize and revere. This might be a role model that you have at work, or this might be an author or a publisher or a public figure that might not necessarily be showing you colors you'd like to see. Now, sometimes that happens, you know, we always hear, you know, don't meet your heroes and all that kind of stuff, because, well, the truth of the matter is, a person is not their work. You know, we've all heard about actors and musicians who produce great work, but they're kind of assholes. You know, that can happen in life, and this might be a week where, if you're not careful, you could be a bit disenchanted. Remember, you can still love the work without resonating with the person. On Thursday, we've got a completely different kind of energy. We've got Mercury forming a really strong conjunction with the Sun in your 8th house of passive income, self-employment income, and shared resources. And when Mercury and the Sun come together here, this could be a great opportunity to expedite a long-standing issue regarding maybe a loan or an investment of some kind, if you've been trying to get an independent business off the ground, or you have been in a situation where maybe it's not even about you, maybe it's talking about other people's income, maybe we're talking about a partner or a business partner's income or share of income they can contribute to the household or to the practice. This is going to be a great energy for a lot of you because there's a haste involved here, there's a speed up, there's catch-up going on here. And usually with Mercury and the Sun, this is talking about a situation that brings a solution to a long-standing issue. So what's been holding up the works when it comes to, again, other people's money or shared income or self-employment income for you? What has been holding up the works in recent weeks and months? Because this is where we start to see that permanent turnaround. So, on that note, what else is going on this week in your cards? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the King of the Darkwood Elves. And this card talks about a need to, again, pay attention to those that we put in positions of high status. And, you know, learning to vet people's credibility. And this really sinks in with what I was talking about with the astrology, because, you know, it can be hard to vet people, especially people that we feel like we like. And, you know, now more than ever, even in our political climate, or even just, you know, our celebrity climate, sometimes we choose people based on whether or not they mirror our emotions, but we don't necessarily look at whether or not they're doing a good job. And the King of the Darkwood Elves can say you need to start learning to accept the truth about a person in their craft or what they're working on. So again, this could be an authority figure, this could be an idol, a role model, but learning how to vet them properly. You know, I mean, you'd want to vet a doctor, a veterinarian, you know, or, you know, an artist or an interior designer or a construction worker, I would hope. And the same goes for the people who you think you're learning your life lessons from. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we have the Strength card, inverted. This card is kind of an interesting challenge because with the Strength card inverted, it doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to be bad and desolate or anything like that when it comes to work this week, But with the Strength card inverted, it does talk a lot about the need to pay attention to where things are a bit too hot and cold. Schedule's going to be very inconsistent this week, and that is a big thing when it comes to commerce and astrology, and a lot of people will probably agree with me. Even my schedule's been really unpredictable lately. I used to actually have kind of like a predictable schedule, now it's kind of like, oh, it's all over the place. And the thing about the Strength card reversed is, it's just really more about the time, not the money, because the money is just fine. In fact, with the Strength card reversed, for those of you who are looking for new work, be prepared to perhaps bite off more than you thought you were going to be asking for. You may have been only going in for part-time, but you get full-time whether you ask for it or not. Financially, everything's going to actually be in tip-top shape this week. Just be prepared, this may compete with other priorities. For your communications with air, when it comes to friends, relatives, the others in your life, we do have the Moon card upright. And this card can indicate a need for you to, exercise just a little bit of discretion, because somebody's going to be confiding a secret in you that might not necessarily be a secret that should be kept. This could be something that does need to be brought out in the open. Now, if this is a situation where, of course, somebody's well-being is at stake, maybe you need to talk to this person about not keeping this so much a secret, or getting them the help that they need. But the Moon card upright can indicate that, this is being told to you in confidence. And sometimes people can burden us with secrets, and it's not like you want to shut them out. Don't be one of those people and be like, I have boundaries and I'm an empowered person and I don't want your negativity. Don't do that. That's what I do to those people. But you definitely want to have an open ear, but also understand that you do have free will in this situation, and if this person's well-being is actually, something that needs to be considered, sometimes we need to talk them into coming out with this secret, not holding it in for longer. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Lover's card reversed. Now this card can also indicate, again, just like we talked about with that Moon card, a need to know when we might need to kind of not make commitments, not make promises we can't keep. And maybe in these situations it's talking about not signing on for obligations and things that we're not inclined, or maybe it's irresponsible to keep that promise. It's irresponsible to to make that kind of pact. And the challenge with this one is, how do we actually make sure there is a win-win while not, making commitments that we're not ready to make, or, again, making promises or binding agreements that are not good for either party involved. Sometimes people commit to things because they think it's the polite thing to do, or, there's just too much emotional currency at the time and they make that decision under duress. Your challenge this week is to make sure that you don't fall into that category. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Four of Pentacles upright. Now, this card can be kind of weird because for those of you who are single and looking, the Four of Pentacles is kind of indicating that, it's going to be a very quiet week. I honestly don't even know if we're going to have time for a love life this week. Looking at the Strength card reverse, the Lover's card reverse, and all of that, I just don't know if we're going to be getting more than just a few bites to, deal with next week. In fact, usually with the Four of Pentacles, we're talking about less time in person, more time at a distance. So, there could be some conversing going on, or, or brief meetings and things like that on the love front, but this is just not the week. But, honestly, it is just a week, so remember, I always like to say that because some people, treat a week like forever, and I'm like, why? For you coupled Aries people, this is a little bit different. For you coupled Aries people, this is about you and your partner making, an arrangement and an agreement that we don't really want to maybe have so many people involved in our home life or in our partnership as there are, and sometimes we can get a bit crowded, friends, relatives, whatever, sometimes do tend to crowd the relationship, and so a lot of you are going to make that decision together, and if you're worried about your partner being on the same page, don't worry, they are, to kind of trim the fat a little bit, not cut people out of your life entirely, but, maybe just reduce some of the crowding around your relationship. So that is your forecast, Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.